do you think just through all this over online talk and Zoom and blockchain and all that stuff like the good teachers, like the exceptional ones, not average, but you think they'll have a larger audience and maybe someday it might be like freelance kind of, you know, not like married to one school or system
Um,
or
yeah, I spoke one time. This was many years ago to at a conference, and they were mostly new teachers who would, were either just getting or had just gotten their teacher certification. And I remember telling them at the time that the future is going to be someday that, you've got a license from the state of Maine that says you can teach history. It
yeah,
doesn't say where. It doesn't say to. It says secondary or primary grades, but you have a license, and that means that you can market yourself as a teacher,
Yeah.
however you want to market yourself as a teacher. In fact, you can hang a shingle on your door that says Jim Charette, gunsmith, right? And you own it, you earned it. So and I think that is very scary to public education, that people begin to have control over their own data, right?
So
right. Well,
go ahead, Jim.
well, well, I just say it's super powerful. Everybody wants somebody that's the best at something, you know, being a parent or whatever, and you had a kid in school and you had
Right.
a really exceptional teacher or whatever, and if you had access to him, you would choose to
Yeah,
go that route or want that. You know, nobody wants a second best at anything.
that's right.
You know,
Right.
Well, and imagine having like a catalog, an online catalog. Like teachers say, okay, I'm teaching environmental science this quarter, right?
That's
And
right.
there's like 10 different teachers that do it. And you as a student get to go, you know what? This dude is boring. That dude is cool. This guy knows a lot, but I don't like the way that he presents. So I'm going to go with the guy that I think is cool because I like listening to him. So
Right.
that's one of the things about like podcasting is that people are all of a sudden really intrigued by long form discussions, right? Like
Right.
somebody will put on their pods, and like I do it all the time at work. I'll listen to like a psychology presentation, or like Jimmy listened to the Bible, the whole Bible, it's right here. People have uh the option to do that now. So like Jim's prime example, right? You take a guy, we always joke, we graduated 42nd and 43rd in a
yeah,
class of
we got
40.
proof this guy can validate our
Yeah. Can you
our
validate that?
I can. I remember a couple of great stories. I know you guys know my father recently passed away, and I got to thinking about the situation, and I think your father, Mark, gave me a gun after for a gift for working with you for as long as I did. He figured I needed some type of a reward. The only gun I've ever had given to me, uh, and. Uh, and of course with Jimmy's dad, I built a boat in his his mother's side of the garage, and so I knew your fathers both, and I knew them well, and I think that I recognized right from day one that they were a part of who you guys were. I was not judgmental at all. I mean, come on. I used to.
you
I
don't
know.
build relationships like that in
That's
public
right.
settings, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
that's why
everybody
we
was
do it.
scared of everyone was scared of Mike Fundelevich, and I used to go over there and shoot pool with him, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't, I didn't really know that, whatever. But anyways, yeah, I think schools are struggling, Mark. They're struggling to be relevant. They were. It's a little bit more now because there are becoming more options all the time, right?
Right.
And I think that's going to be the battle against public schools, to somehow remain not only relevant, but also flexible, because people's lives are very different now, right? They're very, I would say, in some ways, more structured, but in other ways, less structured. So, in other words, you're structuring your structure time, but everything, like for me, just to give you an example, when for years, if I needed to get something done in Augusta, I'd have to jump in the car and I'd have to drive to Augusta and get a hotel room and have my meetings all the next day, and then drive home the next night tired, be worth nothing the next day at school. but I got everything done, right? And I'd feel good about it, and I got everything done. Now, I dial them in at 3 o'clock on my computer, and I have their undivided attention for 1 hour in my kitchen. And I will tell you, what I'm apt to tell them from my kitchen is very different than what I'm apt to tell them when I'm sitting across from them in Augusta, especially now that I'm retired.